This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
On balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion Pro Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 266. My name's Adam Patterson. We're joined today by Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
Pretty good.
We're also joined by Ryan Holes. How are you?
Good.
What movie did we have you watch this week?
Batteries not included.
Batteries Not Included from 1987. Picked this in honor of National Battery Day coming up February 18th.
National Battery.
Yep.
How do you celebrate that?
Oh, don't get. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll get into.
How do you think?
We'll get into all of it, and there's a lengthy listing here for National Battery Day, so get ready for that. So this is Batteries Not Included. Written, it's directed by Matthew Robbins. I have a synopsis here. Apartment block tenants seek the aid of alien mechanical life forms to save their building from demolition. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Batteries Not Included, please.
Well, there's one for a building, and what I'm guessing is New York City. Because of Bird's awful accents.
Whoa. Man, NYC burn right off the bat.
That wasn't supposed to sound right. There's awful New York City style accents.
All right.
Like you're trying way too hard.
Your accent makes it sound like you're trying too hard, but
Didn't you read it like when I know what I'm talking about.
no, I'm not saying it's a lovely accent. Don't get me wrong.
But is this more so just a bunch of non-New Yorkers just doing really thick New York accents?
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so they live in this apartment building, and for some reason, the entire block around them is demolished, but their building is left. So, even a few people in the building, there's an older couple. And the mom, the woman, she's on medication for being insane. So she's insane. The guy's normal. There's a boxer who barely talks at all. I'm guessing from being pounded in the face. There's a pregnant woman whose boyfriend leaves her at the beginning of the movie. And there's an artist who apparently won't paint his girlfriend naked. And she decides to leave him. That's what
right.
she is. Why you walking out says, you didn't even try to paint me naked. As she's leaving. So, they're in this building, and the guy wants to demolish everything. He hires like a second-hand man to come in and
a second-hand man.
come and pay the people off.
Hold on, what's a second-hand man?
Like
a handyman?
No, like a second-hand tough guy.
Is this a term that I just never heard of before? Is this a common? Is this like a common like colloquialism?
I'm looking up. I'm googling right now. Secondhand tough guy.
Secondhand man. Look up specifically secondhand man.
Not the main tough guy. The guy he hires.
He's like the mini boss.
And the secondhand tough guy.
Secondhand man.
I don't know why that is so funny to me.
All you get is a song from Lomax.
Ooh. Oh.
Lomax, Secondhand Man, from his album Life's Lessons.
I'm sorry, go on. You hired a secondhand man.
This guy.
Wait. I'm sorry, I just accidentally scrolled down, and of course there's an Urban Dictionary for secondhand man. And just a heads up, it's using your other hand to masturbate.
That is not what I meant.
Oh, God.
So anyway, hires this guy to best try to buy the people out. And they refuse. So, his little gangster friends, you go into their building and demolish everything with a baseball bat. And the people obviously aren't happy. And overnight, these two little alien spaceships come down. And they end up fixing everything. All the smashed glass and whatnot. And the next day, everyone's like, how to get fixed? What's happening? And they eventually run into these two little aliens who are now living on their rooftop. And the female alien turns out to be pregnant. And she gives birth to 3 little alien babies, one of which is a stillborn. And in the movie, like, its eyes just go open, and it doesn't move. And so they take it, they bury it in a pot. And this boxer, they get up and takes it to the barn. And he gives it kind of electroshock therapy. And brings it back to life.
He gives the alien corpse electroshock therapy and brings it back to life. Now,
because they feed off electricity.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be the next thing I say. I remember watching this movie as a child, like on the Disney Channel or one of those other channels, and they're like little robots, right? They're like little floating metal robot looking things.
They look like flying saucers, but little.
Okay. I'm not sure how they can give birth in that case, because they seem to be very clearly robots. But
you were correct. I also did not understand that. About this backyard brings it back to life. And its new mother. So anyway, the second bad guy comes back with an axe. And he ends up hitting one of the little alien robots. And eventually dies. And while they're working on it, all the people in the forest like work on it and bring it back to life. And after they bring it back to life, it goes into the city to look for its spouse. And leaves the kids and the old lady behind. And it's when it leaves the old lady behind, the second-hand man goes back to the building to burn it down. Well, there's like a third-hand man. And he goes to burn it down.
A third hand man.
The second-hand man, he gets angry because the old woman's still left inside. And she thinks it's her kid that died throughout the movie. She is calling it her kid. And he goes up to her and to get her out of the building. He pretends to be a kid, says, hey, come outside so he's with car. And of course she doesn't listen. And everything catches on fire. And he somehow grabs her, puts her over his shoulder, and climbs down the first escape outside. At this point, the entire building is burned down. And the next scene is them in a hospital. And a cop comes to get them. And they go back to the house that was burned down. And they find out, they see the aliens have restored everything in the entire neighborhood. So now their entire world is good again. And everyone lives happily ever after.
Oh, thank goodness.
All right. So, what did you think of Batteries Not Included?
Alright.
All right.
Not my cup of tea. But it wasn't terrible.
All right.
Oh, goodness.
Have you seen this? Was this one that you saw as a kid?
No.
Maybe I'm the only one. Kevin, have you seen this movie?
Yeah, no, I never even heard of this.
Oh, really?
When you brought it up, yeah.
Interesting. I thought this was like one of those, like, Short Circuit, like one of those movies that you just, those kind of 80s family movies. But it sounds like it's not really a family movie at all. You have, like, stillborn babies and people getting electroshock and houses burning down and old women being, I guess it's an attempted murder on this woman.
The message is all about good karma. If you have good karma, good things will happen, apparently.
What happens? What happens to the bad guys?
Their plans get fooled, and the singer gets fired from the bad guys association.
What specifically happens to the second-hand man?
He gets fired.
Oh.
Karma is a bitch.
It'll get you.
Was this an Amblin movie? This might be an Amblin movie.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I think this was a Spielberg produced movie. I seem to remember liking it as a kid. I remember almost nothing about it except what the little robot creatures looked like.
What did you think?
Johnny number 5 is the man.
What did you think of these tiny little UFO aliens?
I was really confused with how they were born. Because like I said, they're machines. And the mom, when she was pregnant, just ate a shitload of like metal
Yeah.
and electricity.
So she just kind of like spits out these little, even smaller, like little UFO things.
Yes.
Which is odd to think then that like they grow in size, so
Yeah,
they like
exactly.
grow up. So how does the metal grow?
That was going to
they
be my
just-
next.
That was
question.
my next question. I'm also confused how they grow.
Or is this some sort of like a snail type situation where it sheds its shell
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
it gets a new. So I wonder if at the core of these little UFO things, there's something else, maybe not metallic.
Yeah, there's something organic inside, and then as they grow, they shed their outer shell,
Yeah.
and there's a bigger shell underneath.
Towards the end of the movie, they all go back to their home planet.
So they come down to Earth. They rebuild an apartment building in New York, and then they leave.
Because one of them dies from the
What now?
dies from a fire act.
But I thought you said they brought him back to life. You said they brought the fire axe one back to life.
When they brought it back to life, it went back to their home planet too. It get well again and eat metal.
They can't eat metal on Earth.
Well, I don't. Also, something I don't understand.
So they eat metal.
They don't eat metal. You don't see them eat it, but it's there.
Are you just this is all you? You just created this yourself that they eat metal? Like, is there metal just there and you just.
In one scene, there's a passing and they're cutting it into pieces. And they lower their little, the thing that drops down into a conveyor belt on a spaceship. And people go up into it.
Okay. All right. I think I'm following you.
And the Pepsi can is on there. So I'm assuming they eat it.
Yeah, it sounds like they consume the Pepsi can.
That'd be odd, though, with them being made of metal, to consume metal. I wonder if that's how they grow. They consume it, and then it becomes part of their body.
Yeah, maybe. Or the type of metal they're eating is not the same type of metal that they are. Like, they're eating aluminum cans. Maybe they're made of some sort of crazy alien alloy that we don't even know about.
That's true.
When they come back from their home planet, there's all kinds of different ones, and some of them are really tiny. And some of them are big, so I don't know if they grow or what.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to their home planet and then came back and killed all of us because we are chopping them with fire axes. And it sounds like they came into a pretty bad situation.
That was just a second-hand man. Fuck that guy. The rest of the humans are cool, but not that guy.
Second-hand man.
I'm just kind of bummed that these little UFO alien things, that their entire experience of Earth is just one apartment building in New York City.
I know, right?
It's just so disappointing. I mean, there's so much more to Earth.
Yeah. They never explained why they go to that particular building either.
Let's talk about the director, Matthew Robbins. he doesn't have a whole lot of directing credits. He did. The last movie he did was Bingo in 1991. I don't know if you guys remember Bingo, because I know I sure as hell do. I was a big fan of Bingo.
I have no idea what Bingo is.
A runaway circus dog befriends a young boy who has trouble fitting in with his friends.
Oh, damn, that sounds awesome.
I'm thinking of what's the other dog? Beethoven.
Beethoven?
Damn, he's wearing shades?
Oh,
Bingo's
yeah.
wearing shades?
Bingo's a cool dog.
Shit. This movie looks great.
I remember liking it as a kid.
Well, it's starring the coolest circus pup in town.
Bingo. He also did The Legend of Billie Jean in 1985. What's that about? Oh, man, I don't know what this is about, but just judging by the cover, I gotta see it. A Texas teenager cuts her hair short and becomes an outlaw martyr with her brother and friends.
Damn.
Starring Helen Slater and Christian Slater. Yes.
What? I've always remember seeing this cover.
Well, this is going on my watch list for sure. He did Dragon Slayer. This was a movie that I attempted to watch not too long ago, but I never finished it. A young wizarding apprentice is sent to kill a dragon, which has been devouring girls from a nearby kingdom. I was not into like the look of this one. It looked really shitty to me. I just couldn't get into it. That's pretty much it. He did an episode of Amazing Stories. I heard that they're bringing Amazing Stories back. I don't know if there's any truth to that. But
I did read that this movie was supposed to be a part of Amazing Stories.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Holy crap, I loved Amazing Stories.
This guy wrote Crimson Peak.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing I said. I mentioned the fact that he has continued to write, and he did do Crimson Peak and a bunch of other movies.
He also wrote the Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings, which is a pretty great movie. It's a great baseball movie. Got Billy D. Williams, James Earl Jones, Richard Pryor.
Interesting. Looks like he's done some Bollywood stuff too.
This guy's just doing anything and everything.
Ryan, any other thoughts about Batteries Not Included?
Boring.
There we go.
Wow.
All right, let's give you a drum roll for this. What do you give Batteries Not Included? That is a 6 out of 10.
This is such a lackadaisical 6.
I know.
It was good, but it was boring.
Good
It's
but
just
boring.
Not your cup of tea.
Yeah, I understand that. Speaking of boring, let's talk about National Battery Day.
Batteries are important.
Strap in, because this one's a long one. Get a charge out of National Battery Day. Observed each year on February 18th, this is a day to appreciate the convenience batteries provide in our everyday lives. Today, we would be hard-pressed to find someone in the United States who doesn't derive a benefit from a battery. Even those who live off the grid have battery-operated devices such as a flashlight, radio, or watch. A battery is used to change chemical energy into electricity by bringing the different chemicals together in a certain order. When correctly ordered, the electrons will travel from one chemical to another, creating an electrical current. I'm going to skip because it talks about the history of the battery. We don't need that. Let's see. The first battery was it operated a watch, and it was produced in 1957. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I misread that. The first battery-operated watch was produced in 1957 by the Hamilton Watch Company. Little
Lancaster.
Little watch factoid, little watch trivia for you there, Kevin. Today, batteries are available for countless purposes. In our modern age, portable electricity isn't something we think about every day because it's so easily accessible. Blah, blah, blah. Batteries are the shit. How do we observe?
Can I take a guess?
I think you can take a guess, and I can tell you right now, you're probably going to be right.
Do I take a picture of me enjoying and or using batteries and hashtagging it National Battery Day?
Yeah, part of it right. So they do want you to use the hashtag National Battery Day on social media.
Okay.
And then to celebrate, just check your smoke alarms. Check your smoke alarm batteries.
I feel like that may National Smoke Alarm Day.
Yeah, it says to celebrate National Battery Day, it's a good idea to check all your smoke alarm batteries.
That's very specific.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Wow.
So there's that.
Okay. That's interesting.
And I feel like so many of these have this following thing, which is our research has failed to find the origin and creator of National Battery Day. A lot of these that we cover, they're like, we don't know where it came from. Like, we don't know how long this has been observed.
Does that mean I could be like, oh, I created that? I should never told anyone.
Yeah, you should.
We should just start doing that.
Yeah.
We started it for the purposes of this show. But it's also like, I don't understand how that can be possible. It's not like National Battery Day like came about in like 1834 and we just we don't have records of it, and we've just been celebrating National Battery Day for decades.
Right.
Like it had to be created like 15 years ago at most.
Yeah.
Someone's got to know.
I feel like the National Day thing is really just, it's probably since the internet that it's become a thing.
Yeah. There's just one person in some small town in the Midwest, and that's all he does. He's just on the internet. He's just pumping them out.
He just uses a word generator. And he hits generate, and then whatever word it is, he's like, all right, okay, so it's National Spaceship Day. Let's go ahead and make that March 13th. That's exactly what he does.
To me. How do you not know who created National Battery Day?
I don't know. A lot of them that we talk about, they seem to be a mystery. The lost origin of National Battery Day.
I'll tell you right now, it was the battery lobby.
Duracell? Is it Duracell?
They just don't want you to know about it.
Those turds.
Oh, God.
All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin, and @MyLegs.Don't.Work. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We will see you next week.
See you later.